Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Barefoot Minis. And as we were reading our daily devotions this morning, a huge bird flew over the house. And I was like, well, that's interesting. At first I thought it was a hawk, because we have a lot of hawks around here. Hi, Romeo, my sweet little boy. Hi, buddy. And then I noticed the mares were looking out front. And you always watch your mares to make sure your horses, because they'll show you things they see that you don't notice. They notice them first because they're used to living out in nature and they have more instincts and more sixth sense than we do, being as domesticated as we are. So I looked out front and there was a whole flock of turkeys. And wow, look at that, guys. Two, I don't know if you can see them, but there are two bald eagles flying together. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can get you a close-up view of them. I don't know if you can see. I don't know what you guys can see, but there's two bald eagles right there. I don't know if what you're seeing. It's hard to see. Anyway, that's amazing. Then there's two other hawks that are really high up. Right there. Anyway, the whole flock of turkeys. I gotta look at those. There those bald eagles are. How amazing is that? Anyway, back to the story. The whole flock of turkeys crossed the road and thankfully did not get run over. We live on a very busy road. And they went outside our fence into the woods. Well, the one that flew over the house is now caught in the pasture, and this happens pretty regularly on a yearly basis. It tends to happen. So I'm going to try to zoom in and try to help this turkey get out of the pasture. And sometimes it just takes a good scare to get him out. Sometimes when the grass grows up real high, they will actually have their babies in the pasture and raise them up. And pretty soon it'll be like seeing a whole bunch of dinosaurs walking out of your pasture. It's neat. So anyway, I see this guy running around scared, wanting to get out, not sure how to get out. There's also, you're probably not seeing it on film, but there's a bunch of blue jays flying around too. That's cool. Nature is such a testimony of God's creation. It's just amazing to me. It's amazing to me that anybody could think that anything is an accident. I love blue jays too, even though they're bully birds. I love them because they're not shy and they alert you to what's going on. So anyway, here's this turkey, all scared. Big, beautiful bird. There it is. And maybe, just maybe, I can scare it out. I was walking out earlier, but I thought, why am I not videoing this? So, hopefully I can get near it without it flipping out. All right, there it is. Keeps running into the fence. Oh boy, watch it go. You're not seeing what I am probably, but it is bucking. They're so fast. They're so neat to see. It's okay, birdie bird. It's okay, birdie bird. There you go. There, got him out. They're big, and when they fly, the wings just go and beat really loud. Okay, it's out. So my turkey rescue for the day is done. It's your kid, Joe. I'm gonna tell him that's his kid. My goodness. Don't you know that you're elderly? Somebody tell you you're elderly, please. Ready? Get in there. There you go. Be free, Joseph. Free. Be free. Back up in my attic to get some hay for the horses. Still looking pretty good. I'll start turning the horses out in May. That one's caught. This one looks all right. Oh, this one looks pretty good. Yeah, that one's accepted. Timber! Whoops. Grabbing bale number 2. Who else of you loves nature and stuff like turkeys in your pasture makes you feel exhilarated? Timber! Mommy has chosen her bale. I just want to see some dirty horses. They got rained on and they rolled in the mud. Isn't that delightful? It's called reality. These guys finally found their hay. Hi, Victory. Somebody got hay all over Jamie. Oh, they're so dirty. A day after I did that video of shedding them, they were almost this bad. So you just gotta keep up with it, keep up with it, keep up with it. And I can't always keep up with it. All right, Jamie, you gotta come. There you go, Jamie. Not sure what that is all about. Are you here for the angry duck content? There's a couple of angry ducks here for you. I think I probably have an egg waiting for me today because she's been laying every other day. It's been raining and overflowing that, so they've actually been going in there due to the freshwater to dirty water ratio replacement. Yep, we have an egg. Luckily, I spotted it before I dumped their water out because the egg was laid in their water. Poor Dove, she has an irrational fear of bags. And this isn't a learned behavior, this is a genetic behavior because her sire Joe has been scared to death of bags his entire life, and I've not been able to break him of it, so I'll have to look up methods of gentling them to bags. And I probably started as a baby and she still has an irrational fear. And it is genetic because her mom will stick her head fully in a feed bag to get a treat. And her mom's not afraid of it, it's her dad. So it comes from her dad, not her mom. It's okay, Dove. It's okay, it's not scary, Dove. It's all right. Silly Dove. This is Lexington's stall before cleaning. Does anyone else have rotator cuff issues? If so, what did you do to help your rotator cuff? Mine are definitely from years of riding, lunging, ground driving, mostly though cleaning stalls and throwing hay. So I'm having a bit of an issue in my right shoulder, can't lie, but I tell you, 2 weeks of not doing it will heal it tremendously. But that's the problem, we don't usually get 2 weeks off from doing it, so it's a repetitive stress injury. But I could definitely use some, figure out some good physical therapy exercises for the rotator cuff. The stall's done. What's your method of cleaning stall? I clean my stall like I clean my house. I take everything. First I take the worst of it, pick it up. Then after that, I put everything, draw everything to the middle, put everything in one central area, and then go through it to either throw or put away. But that's kind of how I clean stalls too. And it works, gets the job done. What's your method? This is the girl stall before it's done being cleaned. There's only a couple poo-poos that I have to really pick up, maybe a slight wet spot, but this one's not a problem at all. I might just pick up those and then be done. Another method that I do when I clean is I just take a little at a time to spare the sawdust, and I just make a tiny little, barely noticeable little vibration, and that way I'm able to get the poo up without getting all the bedding up with it. I'll show you again. That way I can sort of spare some of the bedding. Here's the stall somewhat better. The nice thing about them having free access to the outside is they can choose to use the stall as a litter box, or they can go out in the aisle, or they can go outside, and thankfully that means that they're not all going in the stall at once, so I don't have that much to do. So Romeo and Victory are my least clean, my dirtiest two boys. They tend to pee right here out of dominance in the front corners. So in the winter, it's virtually impossible to keep the stall dry and clean. But it's their own doing. What are you going to do? We are the way we are, aren't we? Including horses. So even though they have the chance to go outside, they choose to live in squalor. And that's them. No, ma'am. I almost had an Amelie come in the stall and go visit with a boy. I don't think so, ma'am. I know she's a sneaky freak. What can you do to change them? Oh, that reminds me. A lot of farms get guff for fences kind of being rough and backyards being rough, but they didn't get that way on their own. The horses are definitely good at messing up fences, messing up yards, and that's it. That's the way it is. It takes constant maintenance, but it also takes money to constantly repair stuff. So it takes time and money, but eventually it gets done, or it doesn't, and then you get guff. This is the other corner in which they pee and poo, but I don't mind it so bad here because there was light. You could see light to the outside, so I kind of leave the poop right there to bank up, and it encourages them to stud pile in this one area instead of all over the stall. It tends to get all over the stall though because they play in the rough house. Individual stalls would help that, but then they would just be kind of more stuck in their poo, so it's not too bad. This is kind of a sad after. It looks a little bit almost worse than the before. It's really sad because these guys are just the ultimate mess makers. They must have some thoroughbred back in their bloodlines or something. No offense to thoroughbred owners, but when we worked at the boarding barn, there were specific breeds that they just either couldn't help it because they were so large that were just messier than their stall than others. The Appaloosas tend to be the cleanest, and the thoroughbreds tend to be the messiest, or the larger, warm bloods, because they just didn't have space to get it, and they made more waste. They couldn't get away from it. So those stalls were definitely the worst. But so maybe Romy and Victory go back to thoroughbreds, probably because they have the L&D Scout bloodline, and I'm not bashing this line at all. It's beautiful, but it goes back to a Rhinelite Van Hoonist, and those lines may go back to a lot of large horses. So it could be a possibility, but it's just a theory. Another thing I learned today, and this was something that I was thinking while I was cleaning stalls, is that physical stress, as in farming and working out, damages the gut lining because you're constantly going to repairing your sore muscles and stuff. Your body's constantly doing that. So he said L-citrulline and L-arginine, those two amino acids go to repair the gut. Unfortunately, they raise nitric oxide levels, which is a migraine trigger in a lot of people. So a lot of people with histamine problems or migraines, where they would take beetroot or whatever for your heart health or whatever, that doesn't necessarily work for people that have migraines because that also interferes with blood vessels in your body and in your brain, and that can be a migraine trigger. But I thought that was interesting. L-arginine and L-citrulline repairs a damaged or leaky gut. And here we have Joey still, just a few days after getting his fresh cedarwood shavings, and he's run around so hard he's brought up the dirt with it. But it's just dirt. Otherwise, it's a high percentage of cedarwood shavings. Still smells very pretty, and he still only does this business in its corner, so this is all I have to do to clean the stall. He's a good boy. He just is a little bit wild, and he's so close to the end of his life, there's no point in gelding him now. Plus, I actually may consider using him this year one last time. This is what Joe's stall looks like after being cleaned. Instead of putting JoJo in where he's in a stall where he's gonna run and worry about the mares, I just let him loose in the aisleway for now. The mares have water outside and their food, and then later I'm gonna just put him in his stall. But he has their water right there. He has his feed right there, and he has his chopped up hay right there, so he can run around the aisle, wear his hooves down, roll in the stall if he wants. But most importantly, he gets to look out and see his mares, so he doesn't have to worry about life. Thanks, Lovey. Feel better. Good job, Joe. Joe, look. Your grain's here. Joey. You can't see well, so hopefully he'll see that his grain is there. Thanks to a viewer suggestion, I washed all my brushes the other day, so there shouldn't be any transfer of bugs from one horse to the next, but I'm also going to use the lavender and tea tree antiseptic on all the brushes and then put them away for storage. Everything's going to get a spray of antiseptic before it gets put in the back in the grooming bucket. Smells really good with lavender. The cat's gone. She doesn't want to have anything to do with it.